Honestly, Adam, Golden Go versus Miraidon was not in my predictions.
I can't even pretend that these decks were on my radar. I was so engrossed in some of the new decks coming from certain Surging Sparks, but you have to remember, sometimes when new cards come out, they revitalize older decks, and these players have taken the big risk playing something that is maybe a little unproven and showing the rest of the Pokemon world that they can play a deck and be confident in their picks that nobody else believed in. And here we go in top 4, right? Potentially going to the finals, potentially going to Worlds on the back of one of these two decks.
Yeah, Victor having some very good results so far this season. Top 16 in Lima, Peru, top 64 at Louisville, and then top 32 in Toronto, and all the way back in 2018 in Cancun. But Kenneth getting that top 128 in Baltimore, top 4 right here. Is this his first season playing?
I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to remember to ask him when maybe we get him in for the next interview, right? Or, you know, when players have a big performance like this, we're all going to go back and look up their match histories, look up, you know, their history as a player. Who are they talking to? Who are they practicing with? Who are they studying the metagame with? If you came up with Miraidon and drove it this far when it wasn't on anybody else's testing group, you know, maybe this is a player I need to be paying attention to.
Now, some very key prizes here for Kenneth. That Pheasant Dippity, the extra Stadium Area 0, and the Super Rod. I think especially the Area 0 being prized, if the first one gets bumped, that second one could prove to really limit his damage output with Raikou, which is realistically the only reliable way he has to take a knockout on Golden Goes outside of Raichu. But the energy discard from Raichu requiring 5, that's a hefty price to pay.
The tug of war between Pokestop and Area 0 Underdepths is going to be so important for this matchup. And once Kenneth discovers that he's missing one of those stadiums, he's going to have to save the Area 0 for a specific combo turn with Raikou. But getting into the first game, Kenneth kicking it off with Raichu in the active spot and an attach. Plus, and you can use your fast charge attack. This very rarely comes up, Pablo. Meanwhile, Victor stuck with the Togepi in the active.
And not what you want to see as the Miraidon player, right? You want to get your Miraidons out, you want to establish your bench, maybe find some generators, but just going to see that fast charge. And
oh, that's all he's doing.
Yeah, that's the attack, right? So it's just attach, charge, pass, and then that cute little Togepi sleeping in the active spot, about to be having a rude awakening if it stays in the active.
Hisuian Heavy Ball comes through from Victor. Going to grab Radiant Greninja out of the prizes. A great way to draw, see some cards, get energy in the discard pile to set up for superior energy retrieval down the road, and just a little bit more card draw to maybe put together a big attack here and just end this game. Well, actually, no. You got to evolve up from Gimmighoul. That is the saving grace, right? We're so used to Miraidon. We're so used to Raging Bolt, taking these early knockouts, but Golden Go, even though it has a reputation for being aggressive, does need to still wait and evolve up before it can take prizes. So Kenneth isn't out of this one yet.
Yeah, that one turn you need in order to evolve, in order to establish your presence on the board can be very, very important. And now, one of the reasons why Golden Go is right here and why, like, when comparing it to something like Raging Bolt, for example, right? You don't have that immediate pressure, but because you can basically be a single price deck until you get to evolve, that price differential is sometimes very, very key, especially when going up against these aggressive two-price decks like Miraidon or Raging Bolt. That way you can let go of a single price card, and then you end up winning the 2-2-2 price race.
And with Togepi already starting off in play, the potential to use Rare Candy, evolve that into Togekiss, means that once Victor's train leaves the station, so to speak, it can take just 2 knockouts and close out this game. Victor's going to thin the deck down with Energy Surge Pro. This is something we haven't had a chance to talk about too much, right, Pablo, is you want the energy to fuel your big attacks, but the fact of the matter is you play Energy Surge Pro early, get all of this energy out of your deck, and it's going to make your subsequent draws that much better.
Yeah, that's 7 energy outside of the deck. This is basically draw 7 with the Energy Surge Pro, which is fantastic. And you can very confidently play it right now because you can make the assumption that decks like Miraidon, decks like Raging Bolt, they're so aggressive and they can't really afford to play Iono. They need to either be ghosting or searching for specific cards to keep up the aggression. So all these energies, they're not going to have any immediate use right now, but they're pretty safe in the hand, ready to be discarded next turn with that fantastic attack to get those early KOs.
And then the energy that is pulled out becomes fuel for Ultra Ball, becomes fuel for concealed cards. A Golden Go picked up from the Ultra Ball. And you talked about it earlier, Pablo, that Iono's kind of become weaker in the modern era, so you can be more confident getting these early plays. It's back over to Kenneth, and he opens up with Irida, a supporter to find items, which has been so important for both of these decks. And now, finally, he'll be able to get set up thanks to Secret Box and Radiant Greninja.
Both of these decks featuring that Irida, even though they're not water-type decks, but we have so many fantastic water-type support Pokemon, right? We have Radiant Greninja on both sides, we have Lumineon on both sides, and we have Iron Bundle on both sides.
Very true.
So, very nice search. You get that extra piece of consistency with the item card, and you get the support of the Pokemon. And we see that Secret Box hit the field.
And so with Radiant Greninja's help and Secret Box, Kenneth is going to be able to complete his setup, and he needs to be resilient. He knows that the next turn is when Golden Go EX is going to come knocking. So after Secret Box, you discard 3 cards from your hand, and then you search for the rest of your setup. You get a tool card, item card, stadium card. This is where Kenneth is going to be very choosy about whether to put that Area 0 Under Depths in play, and I think he has to hold back on this, Pablo.
We have seen the Secret Box be very effective, but is it good enough to get you an Iron Hands EX set up, Adam? I don't think it's like so realistic, because when we're talking about the 2-2-2, right, Kenneth has a small disadvantage, right? There aren't any 2-prize Pokemon right now. So the way you go about it is Iron Hands takes those first 2 prizes and you try to beat your opponent in the 2-2-2 prize race. But for now, getting 4 energies loaded up onto a single Iron Hands could prove to be problematic, although Forest Seal Stone and Electric Generator could help.
Exactly. If Kenneth was able to get the Magnemite established, threatening to evolve into Magneton this turn, it would be definitely no small thing, but having to go back to the old ways of relying on Electric Generator means that this play could fizzle, and then Victor's going to evolve up and run away with the game. Still finds Miraidon EX off of Nest Ball. Tandem Unit allows you to search your deck for 2 more Lightning Pokemon on top of that. Grabs Iron Hands EX and is eyeballing the Magnemite, which I like, but decides to opt for Raikou V instead. Great for, target for a Seal Stone to keep things rolling.
Yeah, that Magnemite is very key, not super necessary right now. And one important thing to consider here for Victor is that we've seen how cool and useful Togekiss was in his last streamed match, but in this match in particular, it's probably not necessary unless your opponent is able to get those 2 prizes back-to-back-to-back turns. Maybe you would need to flip double heads, but we hit 2 energies off of the Electric Generator, so I think the Ampio is very much online now.
Yes, it's finally coming together. A Nest Ball to grab that Pikachu EX. As I said, Kenneth needs to be specific, very precise about when that Area 0 enters play if he wants to take a knockout with Raikou. But with Forest Seal Stone being attached now to that V Pokemon, gives access to Star Alchemy, and there is the V-Star power looking for double turbo to bring Ampy very much online and let Kenneth swing out for the first 2 prizes of this game.
Can he keep up those 2 prizes each turn, though, where he's going to get that head start right afterwards? Iron Hand's not the most threatening Pokemon, can take down the Radiant Greninja for 2 more prizes, but does nothing against Goldtango. So you have to imagine Victor's just going to immediately take that out, take off energies from the board as well. There's no Ladia, so we do have to pay that retreat cost, and every energy counts for so much, Adam.
And after Ampy very much takes 2 prizes, Victor's going to be looking to evolve up both of these Gimme Ghouls and try to present big tanky threats in the active spot to respond. Going to open up his turn with concealed cards, discards that fighting energy. Again, so much fuel thanks to Energy Search Pro. Can discard these energies. Golden Go EX now evolving into the active and on the bench. Going to use the first bench coin bonus to draw 1 card, then coin bonus in the active to draw 2 more cards.
I love that. Using the bench one, see if you get a Cypher Maniac first, and that way you can combine that with your active coin bonus to get the maximum value. So very perfect sequencing here by Victor. Having a really huge hand. There might be like, I don't know, 12 cards in that hand as of right now. So there's no way he misses the KO here.
And here comes Irida as well. Going to grab the Superior Energy Retrieval perhaps to set up for a subsequent attack. Is thinking about a Nest Ball here. probably to have it ready to go for Pheasantipity. Yep, going to draw 3 more cards. Get your draw now while it's good.
It's good. However, I'm going to question this a lot because the follow-up to this for Kenneth, if he wants to keep up the 2-price trade-off, is utilizing Lightning Rondo, right? And if Kenneth has 8 bench Pokemon plus these 4, that's 12 bench Pokemon, that's 240 damage plus the base 20, that's exactly 260 damage. So I was about to mention, it is in Victor's best interest to keep his bench low. And that 4th Pokemon could prove costly.
And after Flip the Script and Superior Energy Retrieval, the attack is lined up, but Victor seems to be more than happy to take this to a classic punching prize race. And is he hoping that Miraidon is going to miss a beat? All the Miraidon players that have shown up in their winners' interviews have said how much more consistent the deck really is because of Magneton, because of Irida now helping you find the electric generators, but maybe seeing the Forest Seal Stone used already isn't feeling too scared of that outcome.
More Pokemon hit the bench, so Victor, more confident in having Kenneth whiff an attack at some point, does only have 1 energy on that Raichu, no energy anywhere else, and no Magnemite established, right? So, and now the Raikou gets promoted, so unless the other Raikou hits the board, could be a little problematic to piece this, but we see the Area Zero. That's step number 1 in finding the return KO here, Adam.
Pheasantipity also benched alongside Area Zero to draw 3 more cards. There's a Nest Ball to keep filling up the bench. And if I'm remembering correctly, Pablo, you said he needs all 8 bench slots plus, well, actually not anymore now with the Togepi also on the bench. So the Raikou is going to be popping off here quite nicely. We have an attached return. Just need to find 1 more energy onto the other Raikou V.
That big bench, Victor might have gone a little too greedy. The Pheasantipity gave him extra cards, but they were not necessary yet to piece that KO. That Togepi, once again, like getting an extra prize card next turn doesn't really help you win the game, right? You could get 3, but you can't get 4. So that feels a little out of place with trying to win the 2-2-2 prize race. And now, if Kenneth pieces out the KO here, then there's a much simpler KO on that Pheasantipity to close out the game at the next turn with the help of that Magneton.
Yeah, and the Togekiss isn't going to really fix this problem at all, Pablo. And after the draw, we've got Ursaluna as a potential next attacker. A lot of lightning energy I'm seeing in the hand, however, so the electric generator needs to come through clutch.
Yep, it's gotta be Irida for electric generator. We need a single energy hit, right? So you're not asking for much, right? You're asking for half of an electric generator.
4, 5, 6 lightning in the deck, if my count is correct.
I think so.
Doesn't look too bad.
Yeah. Plenty of other cards still in there, though.
And Irida's live. It can thin out that Iron Bundle, as you pointed out earlier, Pablo.
Imagine if there were only 3 Pokemon left on the bench, then the damage would be 240, and you would be asking your opponent. There would be no way, actually, to get 2 prizes this upcoming turn. So that Pheasantipity is going to be very, very costly. And another generator off the top from that Greninja. 2 chances here for Kenneth to establish what he needs, and finds 2 energies.
Beautifully done, thinning. That deck is already so thin. Electric generator now for some energies, and maybe a second electric generator for now or later. But the knockout is ready to go, and Kenneth already has Raichu V in play with an energy attached to it. This is going to be able to stand up to whatever Victor dares to put into the active after this knockout. There's the free retreat thanks to Latias EX's Skyliner ability, and Raikou V comes into the active to use fleet-footed and draw 1 more card. That's more thinning Pablo, and then another electric generator and another
2
double hit.
energies. There were now 4 left. Adamant hits 2 energies on each. That's incredible. Now there's going to be 5 energy in play, and we haven't even attached for a turn yet.
I got to tell you, Pablo, I kind of missed watching this deck operate. It got real old real fast, but after we got a hiatus and we're back in Miraidon land, I'm digging it.
Yeah, it's the roller coaster of the electric generators.
But because you can get them more consistently, thanks to Arven and Irida for Seal Stone, it doesn't feel as janky. And there's the knockout. 280
damage, if I'm correct. And now It's on Victor to respond, and ideally you would want to Iono in this point, but there's no Iono in this deck list. There's no way to attack Kenneth's hand, so a single attachment plus a boss would take down this Fezandipity, whether it's with the Raikou or the Miraidon.
And this was a point of volatility in the matchup that we were kind of focusing on, right, Pablo, where the Area 0 gets bumped by Pokestop, and then it becomes difficult for Raikou to take a knockout. But because Victor overbenched, let Raikou get that easy knockout, now Kenneth can immediately pivot just into Raichu V to grab the knockout instead. So I think that he's recognizing his mistake, and there's going to be a massive adjustment going into Game 2.
Yeah, you have to, right? Like, this is the reason why you might end up losing this match. You can still have a good response, play the Pokestop, try to take down the Raichu this turn to force your opponent to have an attachment, plus boss's orders to have the Miraidon KO the Fezandipity, but that's it. That's the only thing that you can do in order to try to reduce the chances that your opponent wins the game next turn.
I think I did see a boss's orders in the hand, just barely getting a flash of it. 2 off of coin bonus, 1 off of the second coin bonus.
There is a boss, you are correct.
And then concealed cards. Still needs a metal energy, of course, to attach to the Golden Go. Has the rare candy plus the Togekiss. This could translate to a 3-prize turn, but right now the math is not really syncing up, Pablo. And it turns out that Victor's final gambit is to hope that Kenneth whiffs.
All right, well, we're seeing the Gimmighoul get replaced, which is pretty useful. Doesn't take away the win condition of Raikou with a full bench with the secondary 0 still, but that's definitely something that could help Victor right now. Definitely helps compensate for that slight overbenching. The extra price from the Togekiss probably, or should definitely not matter, but that Thornton could prove to save him.
Oh, that's very cunning. I completely forgot about the Thornton, if I'm being honest. So taking that 2-prize liability out of play, and especially after Victor saw the Pikachu EX go to the discard pile, isn't worried about another Area 0 type play. Is fully focused on Raichu, pardon me. And then it's going to be a Night Stretcher for Golden Go EX, and then another Evolution for 1 more coin bonus. Counter catcher to bring up Raichu V. So Victor's taking this big threat out of play, and now it's going to be down to, I don't even know what he has available. What does Kenneth have? He has a Super Rod to get Iron Hands back. Is it even possible to get that much energy attached? There's so much already in play.
Yeah, I think you'd want to recover the Raichu, right? Try to get your last generator going, or with Magneton, right? If you cover the Raichu, you can pair it up with Magneton and have enough energy to get the knockout, but is the Super Rod available? That's the real question here.
And a 2-prize knockout plus a flip from Togekiss. Uses Lost Vacuum to get rid of his own Pokestop to deny the resources.
It's not heads. If it had been heads, that takes away the Magnemite as an option, the Magneton as an option. So the Togekiss still had some relevance. Could have made a difference, but that Togepi should have never hit back the board again.
And so now it's over to Kenneth. The Raichu got knocked out. Iron Hands nowhere to be seen. There's an Ultra Ball to thin down just a little bit more. I think all the energy that Kenneth is going to enjoy is already in play, but what can he do without Area 0 Under Depth still in the prizes?
He's got all the pieces at him. He has Ultra for the Magneton. He has Arven for the Super. Oh, actually, Super Rod's prized. Super Rod and Area 0, both of them are prized. Both of the win conditions are the last 2 prizes for Kenneth.
Unreal. I thought that Victor had really overplayed his hand, had overbenched, played into that Raikou V too much, gave up an easy knockout that he didn't need to give up, and suddenly he has brought victory from the jaws of defeat by smartly negating his opponent's threats. A little bit of help from some prize cards, and Golden Go EX stands strong in the active spot, too big to take down.
I wonder if there's ever an option. Oh, okay. Iron Hands can probably do it as well. You have the boss, you have the Magneton. Yeah, never mind. Iron Hands can pull this off for Kenneth. Gets to use the Magneton, powers up for a second. Amp you very much. I thought he was out of options, But turns out the second Iron Hands was still available and ready to go.
Mercy me. And the fact that he was able to put that all together without needing to use Irida is so important. You've got the boss's orders there, and this was a game that went back and forth, Pablo. We thought that Victor was going to win. We thought that Kenneth was going to win, and it just went back and forth. He took it down, and he had to give up everything possible in that deck. I think we saw every single lightning energy at his disposal enter play, and right away you can see that early amp you very much, thanks to the double turbo energy inclusion, taking 2 prizes right away, and then Victor swinging right back with Golden Go thanks to Energy Surge Pro. And then this is where things started to get a little weird. The Raichu V lurking on the bench, threatening the Golden Go EX. But after some smart thinning, some fantastic electric generators, Kenneth was taking his knockouts in turn.
Those electric generators were picture perfect for Kenneth, and then I gotta say, Kenneth did not miss a beat. Every turn he had the right cards at the right time, and even though his prizes could have affected him, he had exactly the last win condition with that boss, with the Magneton, and with the attachment onto the Ampu very much. So I hope we get to see that adaptation that you mentioned, right? Keeping your bench low on Victor's side is in his best interest. That way, that in the middle of the game, that's where you can hopefully deny that prize card. If you expect Kenneth to come swinging with that Iron Hands in the early game, then you need to make your opponent with a 2-prize knockout at some point.
Yeah, all that glitters is not gold. You're getting greedy, drawing cards with coin bonus, and you want even more card draw with Flip the Script. But if you can hold back just a bit and trust that the Greninja, the Golden Goes are going to get you the cards you need, you can keep limiting that bench. And I got to point it out, Pablo, you said it. If you got heads on that Togekiss, it denies the Magneton, and then that Iron Hands play becomes impossible. So this best of 3 is not done yet. This could be going in one player's way massively, but already Kenneth's going to start us off with Miraidon EX in the active spot and Tandem Unit to look through the deck for 2 basic lightning Pokemon.
Interesting that Victor let Kenneth go first, right? We see the Super Art being prized once again, along with that Mew and 2 basic energies, but Kenneth going first does mean they will not be able to be the aggressor, and Victor will get a turn of supporters to have a very stable board. However, Miraidon really doesn't mind going first because that means they get a first turn attachment as well into play. And that means they amp you very much, and the next turn is actually much easier to pull off because you'll have another attachment ready to go. So there's less pressure on your electric generators, or you can more easily find that double turbo. Like, you have 2 turns to establish that knockout, and that Rotom giving him 3 extra cards against a deck that doesn't play Iono is so huge.
Yeah, we saw this in his earlier match on stream. Rotom V is a great gambit for when you're going first or if you're up against a slower deck. And when we compare both of these aggressive decks next to each other, you know, Golden Go is the slower one. You have this great free turn to draw some extra cards because you know that Victor has to evolve up before even taking knockouts. Here's Iron Hands with an energy attachment. The prophecy's coming to pass, Pablo. I see an Ampu very much very soon in the future.
After that draw from the double turbo, it seems extremely likely now. Immediate Pokestop by Victor does find Buddy Puffin and Superior Energy Retrieval. We're going to see plenty more gimme goals right now. Might even see the Togepi hit the board depending on Victor's hand. We do see that Togepi, which makes a lot more sense right now to get it. Your opponent hasn't taken a prize card, and that Togekiss can help offset any Magneton options for Kenneth. So very cool to see, but there's a lot of pressure right now, and Victor sees the Iron Hands, knows that his opponent has another turn already to power it up easier, right? So we'll see how he can handle the immense pressure that's coming his way next turn.
With a gimme goal and 2 Golden Go EX in the prizes as well, Victor is going to struggle to have the extra card draw that his deck is relying on to put these attacks together, and also the ability to evolve up some of these basic Pokemon and give them that resilient 260 HP. So he needs to be aggressive to unlock the rest of his deck's attacking potential, while Kenneth has so many different lightning Pokemon, especially with Magneton, can swing in with whatever he needs to.
Now, Victor does have 2 gold Dangos and 2 basic energies in the prize cards. The 2 gold Dangos especially could be a problem because obviously you want to find those early on to start using coin bonus a lot. But We're going to start with a minor errand running, just getting 2 basic energies into your hand. Of course, it's the 2 metals that are left over in the deck, or actually metal and psychic, because you want to have variety of energies in your deck for that Energy Surge Pro.
So with all 3 Gimme Ghoul in play, we've got Togepi on the bench too. Hopefully Togekiss, maybe that's what it's going to come down to, Pablo. It's just 2 Wonder Kiss abilities triggering and just taking a clean double knockout to win game 2. But Kenneth, using Hisuian Heavy Ball to look through the prizes, finds the Mew EX and is taking some notes here now.
I will say, I love all these alternate art cards that Kenneth has.
Oh, he is flexing.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people play decks like these, but I absolutely love seeing them all in the same deck, and it really makes me wish there was a Raichu alternate art. I think that's the only one that doesn't have an alternate art card.
I think there was one in Crown Zenith?
No,
it's
no
a different Raichu maybe I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
that's a shame. That's a shame. Yeah. Raichu's actually a fan favorite, but I mean, he's playing the Giga Rarity here.
Yeah, literally the Giga Rarity.
And the Latias EX, just such a beautiful card whenever you see that Skyliner ability come through for free retreat. But after Hisuian Heavy Ball, taking notes of the prizes, shuffling up, Kenneth is ready to get back down to business. Still has another tandem unit to use this turn, and Ampu very much still waiting to take its 2 prizes on this Gimme Ghoul in the active spot.
And we still need to find an energy off of Electric Generator in order to get this Ampu very much going without using the Magneton yet. But we're going to see Irida find us that secret box, which I love this combo. You get 2 cards off of Irida for off of Irida, and then Secret Box gets 4 cards out, really maximizing the potential of those Electric Generators.
And if you're ever in a position, right, maybe in later on in the game where you have Radiant Greninja you don't need anymore, or Iron Bundle, you can just use that as fodder for the Secret Box. So it all really feeds together in a really nice way. Super cool to see Irida seeing so much play and so much utility because there's so many beautiful water Pokemon, as you pointed out, Pablo.
Oh, there's no stadium in play. That Greninja shouldn't be here. We don't have the stadium quite yet. We need to play the Secret Box first. I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here.
Slow down, Chef.
Has pieced everything out, but just needs to not skip a step before we execute everything right here.
And of course, the Iron Bundle being fodder for the Secret Box that was already in the hand, getting rid of Mew EX, don't want to keep that easy target in play, and then an Ultra Ball. And this is going to finally get the Area Zero Underdepths, an Electric Generator, the next supporter, perhaps another Irida, and then Forest Seal Stone maybe to go on that Rotom V.
Bravery Charm an option as well, but yeah, double Electric Generators, double Turbo in hand already as well, so the odds of the Ampu very much happening are extremely high right now.
And actually opts for Boss's orders over Irida. With the Electric Generator here, I think there's maybe one more already in the hand. He's already thinking so far ahead. I need this Boss's orders because Victor is going to lose a Pokemon and wants to put Pheasantipity in play. But then with the threat of Boss's orders, he knows he can't do that. He knows he doesn't want to do that. And now finally with Latias EX entering play, this is going to be a free retreat from Miraidon. This is so clean for keeping energy in play and opening up more deck space where you don't need to run so many switch cards.
Yeah, exactly. The not needing switch card this turn, just needing to find the right energy and being able to dedicate your attachment for turn, that double turbo onto the Iron Hands, is so immense. As we're going to see the Electric Generator, ideally we want 2, but 1 would suffice.
And we know he's going to hit 2, right?
Yep.
There wasn't any doubt. When Miraidon runs hot, it runs hot.
That is incredible. That's 3 back-to-back Electric Generators we've seen hit 2 energies.
Let me tell you, all the Miraidon players cooled down, and a lot of energy has been saved up in the batteries now that he's tapping into this power grid and using all of the Electric Generators imaginable to hit these double hits. Double Turbo Energy, 2 Lightning Energies on Iron Hands EX for the Ampu very much that we called early on in the game, finally coming out swinging to take 2 prizes.
A Bravery Charm to top things off, make that Iron Hands as difficult as possible to be taken down in the off chance that it does survive that next turn by asking your opponent to have 6 energies on top of the attachment for turn. in order to get it KO'd. If it survives and you can go boss on the Togepi or an unevolved Gimmickle, that's incredible as we see another double hit.
Mamma mia! 2 lightning energies. It is just raining energies, and this is so much threat potential because you no longer have to scramble to put together your next attacker. This is just a line-up of Pokemon ready to go into the active spot and take prizes. Ampy very much 4-2, and Kenneth is ever closer to locking up his spot in the finals.
Ever closer, and why, it's all thanks to this cute little Pikachu activating Area Zero, this cute little Latias giving free retreat, and this cute little Magneton just being the best support body you could ask for.
And Victor is going to try to still hang in this game, evolves into Golden Go EX and uses coin bonus to draw 2. Has to find, as you said, Pablo, a metal to attach return. That's already in the hand thanks to the errand running. Ultra Ball maybe gets 1 more Golden Go, and the other 2 are in the prizes. So this is going to be all the card draw he can get. And Pheasantipity, look at this. Again, he's forced into this catch-22. I need to bench Pheasantipity in order to draw cards. And Kenneth already showed, hey, I got boss's orders off of the secret box before. So this is just another 2 prizes he's putting in play.
And the one thing you can count on Miraidon doing each and every turn is having an energy ready to go, right? So either Raikou or Miraidon can just eat that Pheasantipity up for Thanksgiving dinner.
Now you're getting it, Pablo.
I'm finally catching up.
And there it is. Flip the script, draws 3 more. Has Pokestop to bump that Area Zero, dig a little bit deeper into the deck. Is still looking for some ways to get energy, right? I think Energy Search Pro has not yet been played this game, folks.
Not yet. We have Earthen Vessel and we have Superior Retrievals, but not yet. Has not been found. And there is a Cypher Maniac left. I wonder if there's a way to draw because Pheasantipity and, I guess Pokestop can be utilized in order to find those pieces.
Nicely done. Can use Cypher Maniacs plus Pokestop. Very nice. Yeah. So with after Energy Search Pro, Victor just, while he's in the deck, double checking to see how much energy is still in there in order to take the knockout on the Iron Hands EX. We need to attach return and then have, what would you say, Pablo, 6 energies on top of that?
6 energies, yep. 6 energies plus attach return. Now, we're about to see a small mistake by Victor. He was going to place a Thornton at the top, but if you're going to draw with Pokestop, then it's just going to get discarded anyway. So not the best idea to do that, but thankfully he was able to catch it before he committed the 2 cards to the top.
Yeah, Thornton was so clutch in the first game to actually get rid of the Pheasantipity. He's going to be looking to do that soon, but Boss's orders has to be the sacrifice to the Pokestop instead.
That's less than ideal. Now I have to wonder if he's trying to do something with this counter catcher, because as you mentioned, he did see that Boss's orders be searched by the secret box, right? So Energy Search Pro will open up the knockout very powerfully, also thins 5 cards, which is huge, but I do think it is in your best interest to just knock out that Iron Hands in order to force that boss to be used, and then maybe they whiff it afterwards.
Rare Candy, Togekiss. This is actually huge because if Victor flips heads and takes 3 prizes here, this really changes the game because Kenneth has to make a decision. Do I want to take the risk of the Wonder Kiss for my opponent's next knockout? Do I chase that down just to go on to odd prizes and try to buy more time on top? But after the attach return, double checking the energies in hand, going to take a knockout here. Will it be 3 prizes for Victor, or will it just be 2 prizes trying to keep him 1 step behind in the prize race?
I do think Victor's best plan here is to just hope he flips heads twice off of that Wonder Kiss. That might generally be the best course of action at this point in time. We'll have to see.
Looks like he's 1 energy short, so can't even take down the Iron Hands.
Ooh. All right.
Has the Suian Heavy Ball as well, and because he can't take down the Iron Hands, has to go for a softer target, takes down Raikou V.
2 energies prize definitely affected this potential KO. Maybe he's just confident. I mean, if he could have evolved this Gimme Gold, then Iron Hands can't actually take any prize cards, right? So.
And that's the thing, right? With Golden Go EX in the active spot, this, in the prizes, he has to take the knockout, hope he gets the Golden Go EX to evolve that up, remove these liabilities from play. Next turn, he's kind of married to the Thornton to get rid of Pheasantipity out of play.
We're going to see the 4 energy knockout with Make It Rain and
huge.
Big Flip. It's
Tails. Oh.
Unfortunately, it's only going to be 2 prizes for Victor, and it's not even any gold dangos. It's a heavy ball again, and the Pokestop, no help in terms of establishing another gold dango next turn.
And because he was a couple energy short, folks, remember, the Iron Hands is still back in the active spot. Kenneth is going to boss up a Gimme Goal and take 2 more prizes. I think that's probably the best line of play. With Raikou V going down, you could just attach an energy to Miraidon if you'd like, knock out the Fezandipity. After seeing that kind of expenditure of energy, Kenneth does still need to respect superior energy retrieval.
Oh, certainly. With not a single one being exhausted yet, I would say, like, Victor has 2 options to try to limit Kenneth's options to win, right? Number 1 is if he evolves this Gimme Gold into Goldango, that's out of range of most attackers as long as he keeps his bench small. Or if he Thorntons away the Fezandipity, then that cannot be targeted by the Miraidon anymore. But realistically, it's easier to find a Goldango than it is to find that Thornton. So that's why I really like using Iron Hands, dedicating. You already have those resources dedicated. You know your opponent might have missed the knockout the previous turn, so perhaps they could miss it again next turn. So it's definitely Kenneth's game at this point in time. And now with the Magneton still being online and the Raichu possibility, he can just knock out the active Goldango next turn if necessary.
Yep, boss's orders on the Gimme Goal is the aspect after all. I don't mind if you draw 3 cards off of the Flip the Script because this is going to be a target remaining in play. So what if you get 2 cards off of coin bonus? This isn't about limiting your opponent's resources. This is kind of about limiting your opponent's targets that you have on the bench. Ampy very much finally comes through, and Kenneth takes 2 more prizes.
2-2-2 coming into play for both players. Victor has a possibility to take away the option of the Magneton Knight. Does find that Thornton, though, in order to take away that Fezandipity option, as we see Pokestop finding Ultra Ball in order to find the other Goldango. So Victor not out of this yet. If Kenneth cannot establish the Magneton plus Raichu, Victor might have a chance here.
Yeah, and with heads off the Togekiss, right? Again, trying to limit that Magneton play. The Wonder Kiss, we thought it was a fun gimmick. Oh yeah, I have a slightly accelerated prize race, but we see how important it is for these aggressive matchups.
Wonder Kiss could actually turn the table here. We see the Goldango being fetched out of the deck. We're going to see that Thornton to reestablish the Gimme Goal in place of the Fezandipity. That was a huge draw for Victor. If he's going to have a chance, this is how you do it, with a heads flip from Togekiss, and then you hope your opponent whiffs their generators. Whiff one time, right? Because Kenneth has been running pretty hot with those electric generators.
I think we're just confirming whether or not the coin bonus had been used. It has not, so that's 2 more prizes, another superior energy retrieval. It looks like the ammunition is all in hand, Pablo, to fuel these next few attacks. There is Thornton now replacing Fezandipity EX with Gimme Gold to evolve into Goldango EX. This is going to be 1 more draw for coin bonus.
I wonder how many cards each player has in their hands. Victor must have at least 15 cards at this point in time. More than enough to discard for those superior energy retrievals, get those energies back, finally get a knockout on this pesky Iron Hands. However, he would definitely prefer to take down a different Pokemon, right? Well, I guess either way, if you knock out Miraidon or you knock out Iron Hands, you're taking 2 energies off the board. Right now, what matters is the energy count, as we see the knockout on the Iron Hands. And
finally comes through. The big heads.
Ooh.
Tails again on Wonder Kiss. This means that Kenneth Gilman maintains access to Overvolt discharge potentially for this turn to get a bigger swing with Raichu V.
I think I see all the pieces, Adam. We still have Forest Seal Stone active. The V-Star has not been utilized. Magneton isn't prized, and Raichu is in the field already. So I think Kenneth just has all the pieces, and he even has a superior energy retrieval, electric generator to boot. And there's the Magneton, and Victor recognizes it's over. We see Kenneth advance to the finals.
That was a fantastic match. Even though it went 2-0 in Kenneth's favor, there was so much tension every single turn trying to take these knockouts. But the electric generators just hit too hard, Pablo.
Too hard and too fast. That Iron Hands also put in a lot of work. And I really have to wonder, is it actually correct to go second in this matchup? You avoid that that aggression, right? That immediate aggression, but realistically, you're giving your opponent a much easier time. You're giving them 2 attachments to produce that amp very much, as opposed to in that very beginning. So, yeah.